Hi, I'm Bethany Moore, the Communications Manager here at NCIA, based in our Denver office. Thanks for tuning in. Earlier this month, the House Committee on Financial Services held a hearing on cannabis banking. So we thought this would be a great opportunity to get the lowdown on what happened in that hearing from our very own Government Relations Manager, Michelle Rutter. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Bethany. Thank you so much for having me.
So you're based in our DC office, so you can be close to all the action on Capitol Hill. Tell us more about the hearing and why this was so important for our industry.
Yeah, it was a really great historic week on Capitol Hill last week. We had the House Financial Services Subcommittee on Consumer Protection and Financial Institutions held a hearing that was titled Challenges and Solutions, Access to Banking Services for Cannabis-Related Businesses. And so this is the first time we've ever had a hearing on marijuana banking on the House side of the Hill, and so it was really historic for us.
And our Executive Director, Aaron Smith, offered a written testimony along with some from our members who are directly impacted by the banking crisis. Tell us more about that.
We were really lucky to work with not only members of the subcommittee, but with the offices that have been leading this effort for years now, Congressman Ed Perlmutter and Denny Heck, who both sit on the Financial Services Committee. We submitted our own written testimony, but we also submitted the testimony of almost 100 cannabis professionals who told us their stories about why the banking problem needs to be fixed, how this is a public safety issue, and that it's a transparency problem, and that the solution really needs to come from Congress. And so we were so happy Congressman Perlmutter not only introduced our testimony for the record, but also read aloud 3 of the testimonies that we submitted. And it was the first time and only time in the hearing that happened. So it was really exciting for us.
Great. Thanks so much for that update, Michelle. What's next?
So what's next is that the bill is actually going to be introduced. So the hearing last week was on a draft version of what's referred to as the Safe Banking Act, which stands for Secure and Fair Enforcement, so safe banking. So hopefully within the next week or so, we will see the bill get introduced. And it does have some differences from the bill last session, just a couple of tweaks to get some other associations and organizations on board and to back this. And so we will just continue to watch this in the legislative process. We're hopeful for a committee markup here in the next couple of months. And so we are just going to be working with those offices to get co-sponsors and keep the momentum going.
So what can NCIA members do to help?
If you're interested in helping, there's a couple of things you can do. Number 1 is absolutely make sure that you've marked off your calendar for May 21st through 23rd, which is when we'll be hosting our 9th annual Cannabis Industry Lobby Days here on Capitol Hill. And that way you can go into members' offices and tell them personally why they need to fix this. And the other thing that our members can do to help is obviously attend our Spring Cannabis Caucus series to hear about what's next and where things are going.
Thanks so much, Michelle, and thanks to our audience for tuning in.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.